So iOS 16 just officially came out, so let's go and take a look at it on the iPhone 10 and see if it's worth installing. Now, what I will definitely tell you is this update is I like it, I think it's going to be great. Unfortunately, Apple dropped support on a ton of different iPhones that they probably shouldn't have, but regardless, let's go and see how it holds up. Now, this update was fairly large actually, 4.8 gigabytes on my iPhone 10. Now, this was coming from iOS 15.5. If you're coming from an even older version, it's going to be a little bit bigger, but here's the thing, you should not even think about installing this update. It is not worth it. It's going to break your phone. It's going to have a lot of issues. So don't install it yet. Install it maybe in the next couple of months or something, but I would highly recommend not installing it just yet. Now, hopping out of here, one of the biggest changes with this specific update is actually with the lock screen. So Apple spent a lot of time talking about it. They still have a lot more improvements to do, but you can see we already have a little bit of a different design. But if we actually hold down on the lock screen, we can actually get into this panel where we can actually customize the lock screen. So we can add widgets, we can add other pages too, which is really cool. So essentially, if we click customize, we can go ahead and click add new. And we can go and customize our lock screen to our specific liking. So we can go ahead and add like a emoji wallpaper thing here too. It doesn't seem like we can, there was just lightning there if you can tell. We still can't for some reason add a custom wallpaper, at least from what I can tell, or an existing wallpaper, which is weird. But we can go and change our emojis if we want to, whatever the case is, right? So in this case, you can see we have the time here. We can click on the time, we can change the time to whatever else we want to. We can change the little times up there. We can also go ahead and scroll through and change the little options we have here, which is cool. But we can also click the plus button. And what we can do is we can go ahead and click batteries, and we can go ahead and add widgets here too, which is so cool. Now, I will say on a display like the iPhone 10 with its notch and everything, it looks great. I like it a lot. I just wish Apple just supported the older iPhones. I don't know why they didn't, but in this case, we do have this kind of cooler design with the lock screen. We can click done, and we can go and change it here. Now, we can go and do it here. We can swipe up, and it does keep the same wallpaper. Weirdly enough, though, if you go and hold it here and switch it back to this one, it'll go ahead and unlock it and use the wallpaper here. So I wonder if Apple's going to do something with that, like different users or something. Another cool thing they did was kind of give us a little bit more UI elements. So down here, the search, you can click here and you can click just go straight into Spotlight search, which is cool. You can still swipe between pages and see the dots, but I think that's a cool little thing. Also, it kind of seems like to me they kind of made this part look a little bit better. I don't know if it's just me, but it looks a little bit different. On top of that, notifications on the lock screen now come at the bottom. So if I swipe up, you can see notifications are now down here instead of up here. I think it's cool. I really don't have a preference to it, but I think it's okay. You can still expand them out all the way. Focus mode got some updates. SharePlay got some updates. There's been some dictation updates too, which we'll get into in a second. But surprisingly, iMessage got some of the biggest, craziest updates, and this is pretty insane to me. So if we go and click here, what we can do is if we go ahead, and if I just use myself as an example, I don't even know if this is work or if this will work, but we basically have the ability now of sending and unsending messages within iMessage. We've always had the ability of sending, but now we have the ability of unsending messages. We can also go ahead and edit messages that we've sent and unread messages that we've sent as well. So if we've read a message, we can unread it as well. And that's another massive update. So within iOS 16 in and of itself, that is probably one of the biggest changes we've seen, and I'm so happy about it. I'll have a lot of videos on my second channel explaining that, but that is easily one of my favorite things for sure. On top of that, like I mentioned, a lot of the elements have changed. One thing that I saw is that if I go and click here, if we used to type in whatever, right? As you can see, there's a new animation, and these little like bubbles are now looking a little bit different too. It may be a little bit hard to tell over the camera, but that's something I saw which actually looks a little bit cooler for these type of phones. On top of that, we do have a few updates with live text. So if your phone supports live text, you can also do live text in video too, and inside the camera application, which is awesome. We also have Apple Pay updates, Apple Maps updates, CarPlay will be getting some really big updates with this too, and the fitness app is now added within all iOS 16 devices, so you don't need an Apple Watch to do that. So I think this is a pretty big update. I'm really happy about it. I genuinely cannot wait for the future of iOS 16. I just wish they supported it on more devices, to be completely honest. So that kind of covers it. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.